What if episode 10 is the moment Heartland finally makes us face what we've been avoiding for years? That healing is not the same as forgetting. The trailer hints at forgiveness, heartbreak, and one truth Georgie can no longer run from. Phoenix is not the horse he once was, and for the first time, Georgie must accept that some battles are not meant to be won, only lived through. This episode might break us a little, but maybe that's the point. Now, let's breathe into this slowly, because everything started long before episode 10. The trailer only shows us glimpses, but the hidden details, the leaked summaries, the emotional beats beneath the surface, those are where the real story lies, and it begins with Georgie stepping into Heartland again, not as the fearless girl we remember, but as someone carrying the weight of change on her shoulders. She left as a champion. She returns as someone who has seen her dreams torn apart, rebuilt, and reshaped into something she never expected. The biggest shock in these leaks isn't her return. It's Phoenix. The horse that once soared beside her now walks with a new reality, a limitation, a wound that time alone cannot undo. The Georgie we knew would have fought it, resisted, tried to push Phoenix harder. But episode 10 suggests something different. She's tired, she's growing, she's learning that love sometimes means letting go of the version of someone you used to know. And watching her come to terms with Phoenix's future, that is going to be the emotional backbone of this episode. Nathan and Amy, meanwhile, stand on their own storm line, with rustlers on the move, the ranch in danger, and their relationship forced under pressure. There's a sense that something big is about to snap. The trailer does not say it directly, but the tone is loud enough. Forgiveness is coming for everyone, whether they're ready or not. Amy must forgive herself for the past she still carries like shadow. Georgie must forgive reality, even when it hurts. And Heartland Ranch must learn to forgive itself for everything it could not save. But back to Georgie. Because episode 10 orbits around her in ways we haven't seen for years. The leaks suggest she will stand in front of Phoenix, touch his mane with a trembling hand, and accept that his glory days are memories now, not goals. Some fans may find this heartbreaking, but maybe it is the most human thing about this season. Heartland has always been about growth. Painful, beautiful, necessary growth. Georgie's story is finally catching up to that theme, and trust me, Amy notices it too. The trailer shows a quiet scene, Georgie watching Phoenix with a look that is part grief, part love, part surrender. Amy doesn't rush in this time, she waits. She lets Georgie feel it, because that is what forgiveness looks like, standing still in front of what you cannot change and choosing love anyway. The barns feel quieter this season, almost like they're holding memories in their walls. The fields feel heavier, time moving just a little slower. Because episode 10 isn't explosive, it's emotional, it's internal, it's the kind of episode that doesn't shout, it breathes, it sits with you, it lingers long after credits roll, and yet, beneath that silence, something else is brewing. A danger, a shift, a breaking point. The Rustler storyline is tightening like rope around the ranch. Jack knows it, Lou feels it, and Nathan is about to face the consequences. A quiet threat moving in shadows while the family battles pain in daylight. Forgiveness is only one half of this story, the other half, that's what we're about to uncover in section 2. If there is one thing Heartland does better than any show, it's giving us a moment of peace right before the storm hits. Episode 10 seems to follow the same pattern. Soft, slow, forgiving on the surface, but underneath it all, something is tightening, like a breath held too long. The trailer may show us Georgie and Phoenix, but if you look closely, the real tension is everywhere else. Lou's urgency, Jack's quiet fear, Amy's distant gaze, no one is truly at ease. It's almost as if they all know what's coming. Because peace in Heartland never lasts. Not when rustlers are still out there. Not when a threat is growing bolder every night. Not when the family finally starts to heal. And something tries to rip it apart. The leaked whispers around this episode say that the ranch may face something far more personal than stolen cattle. A confrontation. a chase, a moment where safety breaks like thin ice. And in that chaos, Nathan may take the hit meant for someone else. The thought of Amy seeing Nathan fall, even for a second, is enough to pull us right back to the memories she has tried for so long to bury. Ty's shadow is still here, soft but permanent. The idea of losing someone again could shatter her. And maybe that's why forgiveness matters so much in this episode. Not just Georgie's forgiveness for the future she didn't choose, but Amy's forgiveness for a past she still fears. The way these arcs connect is almost poetic. Georgie accepting Phoenix, Amy confronting fear, Nathan stepping into danger. 3 different stories, all held together by one question. Can love survive change? Can it survive loss? Can it survive fear? Georgie's answer is Phoenix. Amy's answer might be Nathan. The ranch's answer is yet to come. There's also something quieter happening in the background. Almost easy to miss if you're not paying attention. Katie, Dex, and River. Their triangle seemed like typical teenage drama, but episode 10 may turn it into something more symbolic. Young hearts forgiving each other for mistakes while adults struggle to do the same. Katie realizing feelings she didn't want to admit. Dex trying to outrun his past. River pretending he doesn't care when we all know he does. It's messy, it's raw, it feels real. Because forgiveness isn't neat. It never was. The ranch mirrors that truth. Even the land feels tired, like it has been holding stories for too long. Jack senses danger even before it arrives. Lou hides her fear behind control. And somewhere in the middle of all this tension, Georgie stands beside Phoenix, breathing through a future she never planned for. Maybe she thought coming home would fix everything, but sometimes coming home just reveals how much you've changed. And yet, there is beauty in that, a quiet kind, a painful kind, the kind that makes Heartland what it is, because episode 10 isn't about winning, it's about accepting, letting go, learning to love what remains instead of mourning what's gone. But don't get too comfortable. Peace in Heartland is always temporary, and the trailer hides something we haven't talked about yet. A moment, a reveal, a turning point that could shape the rest of season 19, and that we're going into next. There is a moment hinted in these leaked details. Small, blink, and you'll miss it. But it may be the most important heartbeat of episode 10. Georgie standing beside Phoenix not as his rider, but as his partner. No expectations, no pressure, no dreams to chase, just presence. Just love. It's quiet but painful. Almost like watching a star slowly dim, knowing it once lit up the whole sky. And yet, Georgie doesn't break. She bends, she breathes. She forgives what life took from her. And forgives herself for not being able to stop it. That's where the emotional spine of episode 10 begins to tighten. Because forgiveness isn't gentle. It demands honesty. And honesty is rarely comfortable. Georgie will likely say out loud what she's spent years avoiding. Phoenix may never compete again. Not the same way, not with the same fire. And for a girl who defined herself through winning, through speed, through flight, this acceptance is a different kind of race. One she must finish without crossing a finish line at all. And Amy sees herself in that struggle, more deeply than she expected. She knows what it feels like to love someone so strongly that losing them changes everything. She knows what it means to wish for one more day with a horse, a father, a husband. She knows grief doesn't disappear. It just softens at the edges like old leather. That is why their connection in episode 10 feels almost spiritual. Not mentor and student, not aunt and niece, just 2 women who understand what pain taught them. But then, Heartland does what it always does. Just when emotions settle, danger steps in. The Rustler storyline isn't noise anymore. It's a storm forming. The camera leak shows headlights in the night, silhouettes moving like shadows through the pasture. Jack gripping the reins too tightly, Lou whispering something we don't hear. This isn't cattle theft now. It's personal. Too calculated. Too bold. Like someone wants to hurt the ranch, not just steal from it. Nathan, caught in the center of it, seems almost fearless. Or maybe more hopeful than careful. He believes justice is close enough to touch. One more ride, one more chase, one more step into darkness. But hope in Heartland often comes with a cost, and the whispers say he might pay it. Imagine Amy watching him fall, even for a heartbeat. Time freezing, air stopping. Not again. Not like before. That one moment could unlock everything she buried. The ache she disguised as strength. The fear she pretended she didn't have. It could break her, or finally set her free. And maybe forgiveness isn't about forgiving the past at all, but forgiving yourself for wanting to love again. Meanwhile, Georgie stands in her own crossroads. The horse that once defined her future now becomes her compass toward something new. She isn't saying goodbye. She's saying thank you. Thank you for the rides, for the victories, for the pieces of her childhood still braided in Phoenix's mane. A new reality doesn't erase their history, it honors it. And that is courage, not the kind that wins medals, the kind that faces truth and bows without breaking. And yet, episode 10 is building towards something even bigger. Something fans are whispering theories about. Something the trailer only hinted at with a single look. Amy's eyes widening, Georgie turning her head sharply, someone calling for help off screen. Because forgiveness may bring clarity, but revelation brings consequence, and we're not done yet. Not even close. Episode 10 has one more turn waiting, one more emotional blow, one more moment that could change Heartland Ranch forever, and this is where everything begins to tilt. Episode 10 is not about endings, it's about the moment a heart hesitates before beating again. The leaked scene descriptions suggest a night unlike any other. Dark skies, unsettled wind, that unsettling silence Heartland only gives us before something irreversible happens. Jack, Lou, and Nathan may believe they are prepared, but the ranch has never been a place where danger plays fair. This time, the threat doesn't just test their land, it tests their faith in each other. Rumors say the confrontation with the rustlers is not quick. It's messy, loud, chaotic. A chase through open fields and fences already broken. Nathan caught between duty and instinct, protecting the ranch, protecting Amy, protecting the legacy he has slowly become part of. And then it happens, a fall, a shout, a stillness that steals breath from the air. Maybe it's a bullet, maybe it's a blow, maybe it's just fate tipping the balance. But whatever it is, it changes everything. Amy sees it, we see it. The audience will feel their heart stop with hers. Because for Amy, 1 second is enough to tear open every wound she spent years sewing closed. She isn't losing Nathan, not yet. But the fear of almost losing him is enough to make her face what she has avoided. Love doesn't come without risk. And forgiveness doesn't come without letting go of fear. Episode 10 might be the moment she finally whispers the truth she has carried silently. She's ready to move forward, ready to let herself love again, ready to live without the shadow of losing everything. And Nathan, bruised, breathless, but alive, becomes the center of that realization. Some leaks even suggest a moment where Amy holds his face, trembling with relief, whispering a single line that fans might remember forever. Not a confession, but a beginning, a seed, a promise, the kind that grows slowly like spring after a long winter. Heartland doesn't rush love, it lets it breathe. While Amy faces this turning point, Georgie faces hers in a quieter, more intimate way. Her forgiveness doesn't come through words. It comes through acceptance. She may stand beside Phoenix, brushing his mane, eyes soft with memory. She may finally say aloud what she's been too afraid to admit. He doesn't need to win to be worth loving. He never did. That was always her lesson to learn. It's closure without ending, peace without triumph. And maybe that's the most beautiful type of healing. The kind that doesn't need applause or audience, just honesty. Katie, Dex, and River also find their small moment of truth. A laugh where there used to be jealousy, a conversation instead of silence, a hand offered instead of pushed away, teenage emotions settling like dust after a storm, imperfect but growing. Even small forgiveness matters here because it mirrors the world around them. Everything in episode 10 connects. Every story meets at the same crossroads: forgiveness, acceptance, courage to continue. The trailer only shows fragments, but the leaks fill in the heartbeat. Pain and healing, risk and love, endings and beginnings. Season 19 has been about growth, and episode 10 may be the moment the show finally breathes into that theme with full honesty. Not dramatic explosions and emotional awakenings, the kind of moments that stay with viewers, not for shock, but for meaning. And when it fades to black, when the final frame rests on Georgie or Amy or Jack under that cold night sky, we'll be left with one question: where does Heartland go from here? Because forgiveness is not the conclusion, it's the doorway to what comes next. And maybe, just maybe, this is only the beginning of a new chapter for Amy, for Georgie, for Phoenix, for Heartland itself. A chapter built not on loss, but on the courage to love again.